Light Yagami, you are Kira.
So, I just finished a road trip across the West Coast, and while we were driving, we would discuss the ideas that you, the commenters, left behind on this video. So, I figured that as thanks for watching, we could ask a new question, which is, can the YouTube comment section catch Kira? Now, catch is going to be the key word there that ends a lot of commenters' runs, because remember, the goal is not to steal the Death Note or to kill Light Yagami, but to prove that it's Light Yagami without a shred of doubt. So once again, thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me, and I now get to say something I've always wanted to say, which is that it seems that less than 2% of you are subscribed. So do that, I guess. I don't know what you're supposed to say. Without further ado, let's see if YouTube can catch Kira. Beginning with some counterpoints to the first video, Mako Ferret Carpi Capybara 5539 brings up the excellent point: how can we catch Misa without getting ourselves killed if she decides to continue Kira's will after we imprison Light Yagami? This is a great question, and due to audio issues and many re-recordings, I've had a lot of time to think about it. And here's my answer. I was kind of hoping originally that Light killed Misa's parents sometime after he killed Naomi, and I just wouldn't have to deal with it. But that's definitely not the case. So here we go. After we capture Light Yagami, we broadcast to the world that Kira has been caught, justice is served, and all that. And I think Misa being Misa, she would immediately make tapes to send to Sakura TV saying that, like, Kira's will continues. That Kira you caught, that's just one of millions. I'm Kira. I'm going to continue killing people for justice or whatever. And we know where she lives. We know to check the hair samples and the fingerprints and all that. We capture Misa, and we don't even have to do any of the weird whatever Watare was doing. And she goes to jail. Hopefully doesn't get the death penalty, because I personally don't believe in that, but that's a thought for another time. Light Misa captured, GG's. Another counter argument that many people brought up was Naomi knowing that we're not L. Specifically, the final stare says, issue with the ultimate conclusion. Naomi would also know you were not L. She's an FBI agent who's worked with L. Therefore, you're also going to jail for impersonation. Have fun with that, landmine. And what I have to say to you, final stare is I will have fun with that landmine. Because here's my thought. Naomi did work with L on the LABB murder case. But the thing about that and us going to jail for impersonation is that we didn't steal L's identity. If you remember the original scenario, it was a paperwork mistake with Interpol. So when Naomi comes in and is like, oh my god, you're not L? I'm going to be like, so true, sister. I don't really know why I'm here either. I think there was a really weird mistake. But you said you have some information about Kira? I have no idea what it could be, of course, but you should really tell all of us in this room. And then she'll reveal that it's Light Yagami and give all her information. And Light Yagami will go to jail, and I'll be like, that was so sick of you, Naomi. Hopefully you can find the real L. I'm gonna go back to California. I'm just some girl. I don't really know why I'm here. Now, Abraha Islam 6265 says, there was a much better way you could have done this. And while they are correct, even though they don't elaborate, it is time that we get into the better ways we could have done this. Starting with D's 4251, who says, you could just break in and enter into Light's house and steal the Death Note. No more murders, problem solved. And while that doesn't catch Kira at all, I do think that's a win for the YouTube comments because you solve the problem. There's just no murders. If you just take the death note and leave, like, there's really not anything Light can do. Maybe he'll put out like an ad being like, "Lost, stolen death notebook. Please return to Light Yagami," and maybe you can catch him that way. Anakin underscore Skywalker 01 and many others brings up the point that 4chan or Reddit would have Kira caught in less than a week. And that's completely true. The answer to if YouTube can catch Kira is actually really the answer of can YouTube catch Kira before 4chan or Reddit, which is no, they'll have Kira way before any of us do. So shout outs to them, though another excellent person brings up the point that maybe that'd be terrifying or worse. Enzio Robenzio brings up the point that us doing the Lindell Taylor stunt and revealing ourselves is what makes Light start to be so cautious. And if we didn't do that, it would probably be easier to steal the Death Note. And also Enzio suggests using the Death Note to kill and bully Light Yagami, which is still not catching Kira, but it does stop the murders. So I count this as a win for the YouTube comments. Cobb's official says that if we're pulling the Lindell Taylor stunt, why don't we just broadcast it to no one but Light, and then maybe have his family members just wait by the door and listen to him yell that he's justice? That's an excellent idea, actually. That's actually, I wish I thought of that. That's just a great point. So you also win, Cobb's official. GG's. Mind of Marcy asks, what if Light never killed the killer of Misa's parents? And my life would be a lot easier, is my answer. But we'll also probably get into that in a future Death Note video. And also, Sneep Snoop 9547 and many other wonderful people left these kinds of comments. And I don't know, I really can't thank you guys enough. So shout out. Thank you. She-Devil94 says that we could just hire Light's dad, have him search the house with the excuse that it's for safety that Light isn't Kira, find the Death Note early on because we know from the manga how Light hid it, and arrest Light from there. And many comments bring up the counter argument that Light brings up, that how do we know he's being Kira willingly or if it's some mystical force? And I kind of see both sides of this. My final thought sides with She-Devil 94 though, because if we arrest Light, he can argue whatever he wants. If we keep the Death Note away from him, the deaths will stop and he'll just stay in jail. So either way, he was caught. And if we proved he's Kira, that's up to the courts to decide, but there's a pretty good case there. I give the win to She-Devil. Now, one of my favorite ideas of all comes from Lazar1, who has a really good idea, and a second also good idea, but one that is disastrous for mankind. The first good idea is that we could ask the school exam people to disallow watches during the exam, and just take Light's watch with the Death Note in it. And I think this is a great idea. My only counter argument is that I think Light, when he's walking to the exams and sees like a box that everyone's putting their watches in, he would probably just take his watch off and put it in his pocket, then put it back on later. But if we can get him before he notices that, then I think I think you win. But the second one that terrifies me is the thought of the FBI having more of a hand in capturing Light so that the Death Note gets back to America. The idea of the American State Department with the Death Note, horrifying, disastrous consequences for humanity. Imagine all those FBI agents moving from posting on Twitter to just being a bunch of Mikamis constantly writing names in the Death Note. I don't even want to think about that. But it is still an absolute win for Lazar1. Chiara Coetzi says that the only moral solution is don't even try to catch Light. Just break into his house, activate his trap to destroy the Death Note, he'll forget all his memories of using it and essentially become a good guy, no longer corrupted by the power, unable to kill. I think the memory thing only came into effect once Light gave up his memories of the Death Note. I think if he didn't do that, then if the notebook was destroyed, he would still have his memories, just the notebook would be destroyed. But let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. Dark Matter 9643 says that they would use their powers of knowing the story in advance during a conversation against Light to make him take the Shinigami ideal just to kill them. And that is both a win in their book and my book. I think you got this. Hook up like a camera to yourself, catch Light in the act, and yeah, I think you win. Going into the idea of hooking a camera to someone, Gopher Pilled Tunneler, top 10 name, says that we could put a micro camera on Ray's back while Light holds him hostage. And this idea just makes me so happy. The idea of like little camera on Ray's back and we're just like watching him throughout his day. And then Light comes up to him like, Ray Penber, don't turn around, but I am Kira. And then Ray Penber whispering in his jacket, we got him, don't. Come get me. And Light being like, wait, what? Another one of my favorite comments comes from Alex Santos 1078, who points out that if we went with our original plan of calling the chief, it would end with us probably being investigated for being Kira ourselves. And I really don't know how we get out of that. I think that ends with Interpol getting annoyed with us and them doing the paperwork to get Elle back on the case and us getting fired. So I think that's a loss for us. Alex Santos also points out that they would douse the Death Note pages with apple juice, and I don't fully follow what they're cooking, but I'm here for it. I'm counting as a win no matter what. Soup Rongen's plan ends with taking Light to court and having Ryuk stand trial. I think this is a fantastic idea because I love the idea of Ryuk in like a little suit and tie, but still like he's still goth. Like him being with Light in jail, being like, Light, does this tie look nice? I didn't really know what to get for a court case, but why are you making that face? Clouds L0 gives us many scenarios that I think they put more thought into than even Elle did, and I have tried to think of any ways to counter them. I can't. Clouds, you win. YouTube comments. You carry the stable. Nice. But if anyone else can dispute it, please. Now, Humor Unraveled both has a plan that I also think could solve the Kira case and suggests that we make a follow-up video about what we would do in the place of Nier and how we would have caught Kira in the warehouse. And I think this is an excellent video idea, and I am currently researching what Nier's actual plan was because I both don't remember, nor do I think anyone else on the internet really knows what Nier was up to. So once I figure that out, new video on If We Were Nier coming out. Thank you so much, Humor Unraveled. Quick shout out to NBCDY, the GOAT. Now, this final statement is one I have no counter to. Rewriter789 says, you won with luck? True, I did, and so did all of we. And thus answers the question, can YouTube comments solve the Kira case? The answer, yes. And that was the final idea I wanted to read out. Thank you to everyone who left comments, both read and unread. This has never happened before, so I wanted to make this video just to show my appreciation. Yeah, thank you. See you in the next video. We got a bunch coming up, both Death Note related and other. So see you then. Bye. Bye. I'm laying down because I'm going to go to bed. Bye. I really have one take of that. So without further ado, let's see if YouTube can catch Kira.